Our son Andrew started Courage Long Island in 2011. He himself is a longtime sufferer from depression and anxiety disorders, as well as my husband and I. He wanted people to not feel embarrassed to ask for help. When he finally found the strength to do this, he wanted to have a forum where people can go for information. They can talk about it. They can find a network of other doctors on the board who can possibly direct them, and just open up this field to anyone suffering who's just too embarrassed to come forward.
In order to define a mood disorder, we'd have to start with what is a mood. And mood is sort of the emotional climate that we live in. Whether it's happy or sad or euphoric or distressed or angry, those are all mood states.
Depression causes more lost days at work than any illness, except for, I believe it's cardiovascular disease or back problems. Okay, so it affects work functioning that way by decreasing people's concentration, motivation, and productivity. It also can affect their role as husband, wife, parent, in that people who are very depressed often just don't have the energy and the desire to keep up a house or to take care of their children. So it's something with very pervasive effects.
I would say the first line of defense would be to seek out a talk therapist, a psychotherapist, a psychologist that they feel comfortable with and safe with, and to begin that process of understanding how they can work with what they have in terms of an imbalance. And very often there's a need for psychotropic medication, which would involve an evaluation by a psychiatrist.
And this is one of the reasons, by the way, that Courage Long Island exists. It's not only to educate people about the prevalence and the symptoms of these disorders, but also to help people realize their illnesses. They're not the patient's or the person's fault. It's not due to weakness of character. These are medical illnesses that have been known for, in some cases, like with bipolar disorder, thousands of years. And people really don't need to feel shame about these illnesses any more than they would about any other medical illness.
The organization is helping to raise awareness in the fact that they do informative talks in schools, organizations, clubs. They try to reach a vast amount of age groups and people with a psychotherapist, a psychologist, and a psychiatrist. They go and visit and they do information talks, answer questions, and just really get it out there so that people can feel free to go get help themselves.
You have a happy mood, but also very, very common, especially among kids and adolescents. We're trying to really get people to be aware of these illnesses, reduce the stigma, and give them some hope that they can, it can really change their lives if they get help.
It's okay to let someone know and to talk about a mood disorder that you might have. It's not your fault. You didn't do anything wrong. You're not a criminal. You're just suffering from something that occurred biochemically. And the education is probably key so that others aren't afraid of people who have this diagnosis.
You need help, but if you are afraid to get help or feel stigmatized by this, it holds you back in getting the help to live a normal life that you so deserve. Don't let mood disorders run your life. Fight mood disorders, live better.